Welcome back, folks. Back to work on a 67 to 72 C10s. Hi, I'm Darren. I work on 67 to 72. Today is another seat, part of the seat saga, the seat series, we'll call it. Hopefully, we'll wrap it up in this video. I want to touch on a couple quick things before we get started. For the non-regular viewers, I'll move right along, and then at the end of the video, I got a couple little things I've been working on the truck, kind of some stuff that my regular followers would be interested in. But let's get to the seat thing. Before I do, I want to thank you guys so much. I have like 321 subscribers now, way more than I ever dreamed about. Remember, I had a goal of 50, then I wanted 300, and guess what? Right up there, 300. You see it? Can you see it? Just look at it, would you? It's my play button, 300 play button, 300 subscribers. It didn't fit in the frame that well, but it's a paper play button. Yeah. They used to offer hundreds and then thousands and on and on and on. They don't offer the hundreds anymore. So whatever. I got my 300 subscribers. Thank you so much. So I'm going to quit talking and start working so I don't lose subscribers. Anyhow, I got some thank yous later. But right now, let's get going on these seats. That's what you're here for. And I got something to show you. This should be a fun one. I know. My wife says quit carrying that camera around. And she's right. It's not fun to watch a jiggly camera. So this is kind of where we were last week. Well, it looks like it, but it isn't. I would have made my video yesterday. But when I got done taking these seats out of a S10, I was sweating so bad. And I used some, I don't know, I just made up some new words that sounded bad. Because I used up all the regular bad ones and I was still mad. So I made up new ones. And it didn't make me feel any better, but anyhow. I don't know. There's 4 bolts in each seat. 3 of them come out easy on each seat. But that little star bolt that holds the seat belt in the back, that's a bugger. Yep, bugger. That's the word. It's a bugger. I heated it. I torched it. I cut on it, beat on it. I broke some tools on it. And then I just took the grinding disc and closed my eyes and ground anything that was metal until the seats came out. I don't suggest doing that because I ruined the seatbelt. But let's get to the truck. These are so cool. No, we're not going to use them. I've talked to Tom. We're also not going to use the Silverado seats. I'll give you another glance at them real quick. That 99, 2002, whatever those years were, 2003 ran them too, maybe 4. I don't know. You know the style. They're too cramped. That's all I can say. He came over, sat down, and he agreed. It's just, you could do it. If you're a little guy or girl, that'd be fine. But it just was kind of, steering wheel closed, like a race car. And then the gas pedal was closed. And the brake pedal was closed. And if you had a stick shift, it would be eating your knees all the time. So I ripped these out. I'm telling you, I love these things. S10, S15, 1998-ish. I don't know what model they call that stuff, but look at the room. It's crazy. From the Silverado seats we had last week that made the cab feel tiny and cramped. That's the bottom line. I put these S10 seats in there and you feel like you're in a mega cab. It's just amazing. I can't explain to you enough the difference in how open this feels. The only reason I'm going to carry on about these for a minute before we get to the next set that's kind of below screen, you can't see down in this area. I love these. I want to do a truck with these. I don't think I ever will, but it would be cool. If the right guy or gal came along, these seats, they're the answer. All I can tell you is I got to sit in it. When you sit in these things, just the way they are, you don't even need to. I mean, you could, I think there's one peg down here. You'd have to, make some bushings or something to make everything just sit right. When you sit in here, you got all kinds of room. I mean, really, headroom is just ridiculous. I could wear a 10-gallon hat and have room to move around. You're not going to be bumping on the doors. And I'm not going to exaggerate. I think there's 10 or 11 inches between the passenger seat and the driver's seat, where in the S10 they were touching. So you could put like a whole nother console in the middle. There's all kinds of room in the back. Crazy room. You could put boom box kind of things, whatever they call those, the big speaker box. That's it. Speaker boxes back there. I don't know. Whatever you want. There's just a ton of room. I don't want to start with suggestions because I'll make a few that probably aren't nice. The seats are they're small, but they're really comfortable. I've never minded S10 seats. And these, you might see the hole right here. These have the lumbar twisty bally thing that broke off through the 200,000 miles on that thing. But you could replace those and give yourself a little lumbar. They are so comfortable. It feels like you're riding in a go-kart. That's it. That's the description. Feels like you're in a go-kart. You're sitting low. The dash is kind of right in here. I bet it was I bet you were going 100 in this thing, you'd feel like you were just going a million. Yeah, bad example. I'll bet at 55 to 70, this thing feels like you're doing over 100. I mean, it's going to be like a go-kart. Just feel crazy fast. Lots of room. I'm not going to carry on because not too many of you guys are going to do it. And getting your foot out around that's even easier. But the last thing I want to say about these seats, and I'm going to pull them right out of there. When the back of this part of the seat, the back of the seat, when the back of the seat is hitting the back of the cab, the headrest won't even touch the glass. They actually do fit very nicely if that's your thing. And I'm not going to carry on any further. And they don't weigh 90 million pounds when you pull them in and out. I mean, they're not light, but they don't weigh a lot. I've moved all the seats I want to move, but I'll keep doing it till we find out the right ones. Let me get the driver out real quick. It's a little heavier because I think there's 14 pounds of change in there. A bunch of them pennies. Sorry about that. A bunch of them pennies that we pretty much don't use anymore. Let's not go into that. It'll get political. For crying out loud. Okay, that's down. Now the next set of seats we have in line. Let me walk you around. I know not to move you much. You already got the half a shop tour. I'll be gentle. If you remember, we're just going to touch on these real quick. These were last week's Silverado seats. Oh, no, they're not. Over here they are. Last week's Silverado seats. You could do it, but I don't think you particularly like it. So let me take you over here. And there's these seats. This is this week's seat we're going to try. Can anybody guess what they are? A couple of you guys probably can. This was the original seat that was suggested to probably me, I think. But I've read and seen people use these. There you go. Do you know what they are now? You probably do. Those are OBS seats. Now you could go to square body seats. I'm told they fit basically perfectly. But if you ever sat on a square body seat, they're not very comfortable. I never did like them. I personally like the 67 to 72 C10 seats a little bit better than the square body seats. So I definitely didn't want to go square body seats. But these OBS seats, I don't mind telling you, they're not subscribe if you don't mind. They're not anywhere, they're not quite as comfy. I was going to lean back, then I remembered they're not bolted to the floor, obviously. They're not quite as comfortable. I mean, you can see this one blowed out. It needs rebuilt, which we'll do if we decide to use them. You can get 3 passengers, important to Tom. I don't know, a lot of guys probably don't think about it, but lo and behold, next thing you know, you're a grandpa. You know, it happens. And when it does, it's like, well, I want to take my grandkid for a ride in the hot rod. Well, you could wait till he's old enough to have a regular seatbelt on, but good gracious, you could put a car seat in here. I mean, it's got the infamous armrest, places to put junk. That's all we're going to put in there anyway, junk. Look, there's junk in there now. You ever seen these before? They're CDs. If you don't know what a CD is, Google it. We're going to move along. I think they're pretty comfortable. And the only other thing I'm going to say before I throw them in the truck right now is I believe I'm going to have to move that gas pedal I put in there. It looks right, but the throw on the new gas pedals isn't like these old trucks. You only had, quarter throttle that we would call quarter throttle. Not a lot of movement to run the vehicles. It was always fine because, well, we didn't run 500 horsepower motors. They were like 150. So even if you pushed it to the floor by accident, it wasn't going to snap your neck or throw your hat off your head. but there's a lot more throw, a lot more movement to that pedal. So we'll readjust that in another video. That's not for today. I just want to get these in there and see if they fit. Now, I haven't done it. I put those seats in without you from the S15, but I did not put these in yet. So I'm looking forward to it. This one does obviously look more comfortable. So I'm excited. You ready? Let's do it. Quit talking about it and do it. Let's get some work done. I don't know. You know this game. Put you somewhere I think you can see, and then I'll end up bumping the tripod. But you got to see me doing my things, Darren things. We'll just call it Darren things. We're going to do what we always do, start with the passenger seat. I don't know. I got some notion in my head that if it don't work, it'll save me from moving that big seat, the driver's seat. But I'm going to do it anyway, so I don't know why it matters. I have no idea about the pedestals. Now, again, the owner of this truck is Tom, and I talked to Tom about these seats. He got these seats, by the way. I didn't. He put these in his square body. He put these seats in his square body truck he has. It's a plow truck. I didn't ask him why. Didn't think to. But they're definitely more comfortable. He likes them in a square body, but he had to build up the platforms on the bottom. I can't remember what he did. I think he had to cut them off. And then the floor isn't level, so you have to do pedestals. It's a thing. If you do seats, you'll get it. These, I don't think I got to come off, but we're going to get in the truck first and see. It does look like they're a little different. The mounting for the C10 seats are up here, and I'd like to keep those the same. It is structurally the best place to mount your seats. I'm not saying if you mount a bolt right through the floor here that it's the end of the world. I'm not Mr. Safety, so that don't bother me any. But if I do them for Tom, and he might have grandkids in here and his wife or whatever, I might just, this is not going to, yeah, it's going to work out fine. What I would do, I'm getting the how's that phrase go? I love using these old phrases. Let's not get the horse before the cart. But if we like them, I would probably cut these off and extend this bracket out with a heavier gauge than GM use. That's always my rule of thumb. And make the actual mount where it belongs in the front. It'll help the carpet. It'll help with anything you want to slide in there. Gloves, paper towels. Okay, not paper towels. They wouldn't go under there. But I've been talking to Tom about this, and I said, gee whiz, you keep saving me all this work by not having power seats. That's great. He said, well, I don't really care if they're power seats or not, but they're not. And I said, oh, cool. No big deal. Well, these are probably going to work, and I'll tell you why. There's these goofy buttons on here. So, Tom, when you watch the video, these are power seats. And I don't care. We just got to run a power wire down to them. That's it. Piece of cake. I probably won't even run a ground. We'll just ground them to the frame. I mean, it's seats. Does it matter? So I'll wire them up. That's not a problem. All right, I'm done talking. I want to get in and look at it. Now, the problem we're going to have. So forgive me. I told you I wanted to do this live for you guys. I don't have power to them, so I can't tilt the back. Now, the backs rotate forward, which is pretty cool in case you want to reach back and get your junk out of the back. But the problem with that is, I believe where they mount, maybe it's here. Oh, that is probably here. So these might just be power forward and backwards. That's cool. All right, here I go. This is official sit down this time. There you go. Boy. Thought I was going to love them. Got to get comfortable, otherwise I won't know. I can probably lean that back, right? Isn't that what that does? Oh, boy, yeah. So let's go with that. I feel like I'm turned in a little. Forgive me. You can't get a feel for the seat if it isn't square. I mean, look. It's pretty square. All these seats in and out, I buggered up some of my tar. I'll have to fix that. All right, they sit pretty darn nice. They seem to fit pretty darn nice. I haven't had that one in yet. The only thing I'm feeling right now, of course, I just sat in a go-kart seat, so this is a big change. You could probably live with them right where they're at. You could. If it were me and my truck, I want them down just a little bit. Not go-kart seat style. And there's a little room to chop these down when I rebuild the frames anyway. So it looks like I could get, well, the pinky measures an inch, but it looks more like 1.25 inches. And believe it or not, 1.25 inches will feel like a lot. When you get power seats that go up and down, you're only moving 3/4 inch to an inch, and it just feels like a lot. Again, I don't want to carry on. We've got other things to do in the show, but seat placement to me is very important. When you get into a vehicle that somebody's built and you feel the least bit awkward, I mean, even a little, the ride is not enjoyable. It's not comfortable. It can be somewhat unnerving, even the word scary. You need to sit where you feel like things are right. And we're just a little bit, again, there's plenty of room above my head. I don't tell you, 6, 7, 8 inches, probably 6 inches. I mean, you could ride here fine. But I would prefer it lower. Maybe I'll have Tom sit in them and see what he thinks. But it looks to me right now like these are the seats. These are the seats I think I would suggest somebody to put in here. Let's get the driver in before I go making these decisions. Getting ahead of myself all the time. All right, here I go. Okay, nope, not yet. Let me get a different grip on it. Holy cow, what's it got in it? Tom, holy Moses, it feels like it's got a 10-pound weight in the bottom of it. Or 40. I think he told me they were heavy, but this is ridiculous. That's the heaviest seat I picked up in this whole series. It don't even have $14 worth of pennies in it. Okay. Here I go. Oh, gee whiz. I got to give that hernia repair a good testing. I think I just gave it a full test right there. I'd rather move grain for cattle. My gracious, that was heavy. I don't know. I'm getting excited. I'm out of breath, but I'm excited. See if I can get this low. Oh, these are much higher on this side. Again, the floor design. I'm coming for the camera in a minute. The floor design in these trucks, or the trucks they came out of, can be so much different. And it appears, I'm trying to figure out what it's on. Well, at any rate, it's going to need some adjustments. That's all I got to say. It's not just going to fall in there, is all I'm getting at. It appears that some parts of it need lowered and some parts of it need raised. I'm trying to get it all the way back. That's our whole thing here. All right, let's give you guys a better look. Let me get my glasses out real quick. Always on a schedule. We're at 18 minutes. I got to get moving. Folks, I like them. I like them a lot. I hate it when I get to watch a video and some guy's heavy breathing on the video. It just annoys me. And it's nobody's fault. You get out of breath. But now, see, I'm not joking. I'm not kidding you. That seat's heavy. I'm tall today. That seat's heavy. Now, it's also heavily worn. I don't know if that's where they used to keep their illegal parts. Anyway, this one looks full power. Yep, tilt front, tilt back. Well, I think that's forward backwards. I don't know what this is. Maybe that's lumbar. It's going to be fun to hook this one up. It does everything. It's probably got bells and whistles and sirens and cool seat. Yeah, probably not, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of buttons. We'll figure that out. Hopefully I just have to put power to it. All right, we're sitting on the adapter right now. Or the plug, I shouldn't call it an adapter. That'll get us a little straighter before I go jumping on it. We are up to the mounting bracket in the front. But again, I'm going to have to hook power to these if they work out. That's going to hold the front a little high, so today's fitment is not going to be ideal because it looks like we want them back a little bit. But that seat could be all the way forward, making the racks all the way back. Again, I'm talking too much. These can be cut down. There's quite a bit of metal on this side, and that side is sticking 4 inches in the air. So there'll have to be some adjustments made. But as of fitting it, the back of the seat's square, the passenger seat's square, pretty much square line between them. Now, I'll tell you the width difference, and we could push this one over farther. I don't want to tell you guys how to build your trucks, but right now there's an easy hand. I mean, you can just swipe your hand between the driver's seat and the passenger. They call these 60/40s. They're kind of like a bucket, kind of not. The passenger's definitely a bucket, but the driver, I guess, isn't a bucket because it's 60%, but it has the seat like a bucket. The issue here is if I push the seats together so you don't have that gap, you're just gaining a little room on your outside elbow, which can be fine. You might feel cramped with the door. There's always room to move later. But I'm more interested in having a seat. I'm a little scared because this thing's just sitting on like nothing. Air on one side. But what I am concerned with is sitting in the seat. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Matter of fact, I could almost leave that gas pedal where it's at. It's a little, again, I'm talking about stuff you don't care about right now, but I think I would leave it there. You can put your foot to the side. It's pretty comfy. It brakes a little high, but we think this was a non-power brake truck, and we're going to convert it to power brakes. So Tom was telling me, I don't even know these things, that the brake pedals sometimes are a little higher on a non-power brake. But we'll figure that out. As far as sitting in here, I do feel like I'm leaning out just a touch, but I got 2 low tires on this side. They're just rollers for the shop, and I know they're almost out of air. And this seat is all busted out on this side, so that's going to lean you a little left. But, oh, I didn't think about this. That's always an issue right there. Not an issue. I don't know. You couldn't see it. I flipped up the center rest so you could have like a third person. And prior to these seats, they've all hit the back and were a problem. I guess it does touch the back. But in the case of 3 people, the driver could use his power, just his little finger here, and just power forward. I mean, it's not a ton of work. And actually give it an inch or two so that center passenger could be more comfortable. If that's the worst problem you have, these are it. Matter of fact, if I build another truck and I can't find seats, I'm not going to pay the amount of money they want for original 67 to 72 seats. I would go with these. I certainly would go with these. One other little issue about them is you have to do your own seat belts. They have part of the seat belt attached. This end's attached, the buckle, but this side isn't, the short side. That's the easy part. Find one somewhere and bolt it through the original GM hole. You're going to be fine. This part here, I don't know. We're going to come up with something. Thinking about just ripping some out of the junkyard because this is all basically the same kind of. I mean, it is the same in every GM vehicle, pretty much. All right, there's the answer to your seats. I got other things to do, other things to talk about. If you're here for the seat video, for sure, square body, or excuse me, OBS seats are the way to go. That's my answer, for sure. I'm convinced, Tom, and if I know him, if I'm convinced, he's good with it. They just sit, I can't believe how perfect. They sit with it to the back, just touching the back of the truck, which is the hardest part. There's a belt line through here. I don't talk about it very often, but that belt line sticks out. It must be for structure, and it just gets in the way of every seat there is. Even the originals were thin, and they're not hitting the glass, not even close. Fantastic. That's the answer, at least for me, folks. I hope the video did you some good. If you're one of those guys that likes to ride around in the go-kart, I mean, they're fun. And you want to try the go-kart seat thing, the S10 or S15s, either one, they are a good answer. But as far as something that fits the truck, looks good, I mean, I got a steam cleaner, we're going to recover one, all that. But I mean, they fit. I really like it. And you get cup holders. Wait a minute. I didn't see cup holders. That's important to a lot of people, namely this guy too. I never drink enough water. Uh-oh. Tom, we found a problem. Houston, we have a problem. There's no cup holders. I'm not an OBS guy. I actually never owned one, believe it or not. I've owned all the rest of them. I've owned these, I've owned the square bodies and everything newer, but not an OBS. Well, That's okay. We're going to figure something out and we'll have it in another video. So come on back and watch another video. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to do lots of stuff. So my regular viewers, and all of you are welcome to stay. I got to touch on some things real quick. Because those guys, my regular guys, they like work. They want to see me doing a lot of work. I can't work enough for those guys. And we are at 25. God, my timing is perfect today. So here is the next thing we're going to talk about and show you what I did, why I did it, and how I did it. Before I do, real quick, we already did this, so I'll get that out of the way. Quick thank you. I know it's boring. I'll make it really fast. It's not boring for the individuals I talk to. You guys see my 300 subscribers. Every one of you are just as important as the names I'm about to mention. I needed all of you. But I did want to say hi real quick to Chris, David, 3 Tigers, 1, Kevin, Martin, Julio, Scott, Lance, and 407 Cars Suck. I like that name. Cars do suck. I'm a truck guy. So cool stuff. I did get a couple other guys, Graybeard Garage and Steel City Off-Road. I don't have their names, but they showed up on my queue. So there's my thank yous for the day. And I thank you guys. Here's what I wanted to show you. We had talked about how I messed up. Hard to believe I can't think of a word. I was so mad at this too. I messed up when I put that cab on too early, but it works out good for a video. I mean, actually does work out good because a lot of you guys are not doing cab off stuff. So when you go to put a LS in, 5360, whatever you pick, do a motor swap, you're going to put a 4L60, 4L80 in your truck. So you're going to be in the same boat I created for myself. So it truly did work out for a benefit for some viewers because you would have just watched me drill holes to the top of the frame, and that wouldn't have done a lot of good for you. As it turns out, if you're putting an LS in a vehicle, then you don't want to take the cab out. And quite honestly, I never wanted to take a cab out of anything in my life. You just have to sometimes. So you're doing a swap and you got these things to think about. Come back to this video. I'm not going to show you doing it because it was me with my head all falling in the dirt and my head full of metal shavings and sorry about that noise. And my shirt all jacked up and my belt falling down, sweating, and I don't know, I might have used a funny word too. I'm not sure. But here's what I did. I'm going to get right to it. I have to drill these out just like you would. So cool. Let's use this to our advantage. I wasn't feeling good that day at all. I shouldn't even come out to the shop. But I'm a workaholic. I got to do something. So I came out here and I sat in every one of these chairs. I didn't feel like getting up. And I realized I couldn't feel any worse. It's not possible. So again, I'm not crying on your shoulder. I'm giving you some advice. Someday when you don't feel good, but you want to get something done, go pick your most miserable project that you're trying to avoid because you don't want to do it and pick that day just to do it because you can't feel any worse. It worked great. What I mean is I didn't necessarily feel any better, but I knocked out a horrible job that on a good, sunny, nice day that you'd like to be outside and you're feeling wonderful and you don't want to climb down there and get hot shards of metal that blisters your wrist when it falls down in your gloves. So gloves aren't always safe. That's the safety thing for the day. Safety isn't always safe. I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it. Then I went and did a fun job and I ruined it. I didn't feel good. I didn't enjoy the fun job. Take the advice or leave it. Here's how I did it. I'm even for once going to get you guys in close. You don't need to see me. We only got a couple minutes. So I'll show you this and you're only going to want to spend one more minute with me anyway. Here's the setup. Do it your way. Trust me. Don't trust me. Doesn't matter. 90-degree drill, right? Put it in the frame. Whatever way you got to get it in the frame. See, the frame would keep going. You understand this is just a look-alike. I'm going to get you in even closer. This worked really good. So you got that angle, the 90-degree angle in the frame, and you need to drill up through your cross support. So now you got it in there, and it's really hard to get any torque on it. Some of you guys might be asking, how'd you get it in? There's no room for a drill bit. Get a center drill bit, priceless, and they're not that expensive. A centering drill bit just has this little center that drills in, little nipple off the end, and then it carves out like a step drill. This is mostly designed for like lathe work and that kind of thing, milling machines, but they're very short and they're very strong and they're not very expensive. I mean, relatively. So you get that inside your frame and you're like, I can't get any torque on it because the frame's in the way. You're going to need one of these, I'm afraid. Adjustable. I don't care what brand you get. This is an adjustable. I can't do it one hand, two-handed even. An adjustable, I can't do it. Trust me. You push this. I make everything look harder than it is. You just push the red button and move it. You follow me? Because if you have a regular one and you get in here, you see your hand is, it's not in a spot you can, so you really do need an adjustable one. Get it in the far back position where it's good for me. Bottom line is you just want to sneak this under the bottom of that drill, this square end here. I know everything's black. And then when you get this in there, see the frame's not in the way. If something else in your way, you can adjust different. And you can put leverage on this. Go gentle because you put a lot of leverage on this. Drilling with one hand, put a little leverage on the other hand, it'll go right through. It's a piece of cake. You got to believe me. Try it. This will make your life easier. This whole prying on the bottom of this, way better than a regular drill. So there's some things you'd have to buy. You know, right angle drill. I think that was $20 at the Harbor Freight. The bit, I have no idea. I think they're $6 or $8. So now that might be like 40. I'm joking, but who knows? These, I don't know. I got the gear wrenches. They were reasonable, but you know, I bought them back when things were reasonable, pre-COVID. Can I say that? Nothing's reasonable anymore. It just is what it is, folks. These are what I would require to do another one. All right, I've talked enough. You've seen enough. That's enough. We got to call it quits. We can't do this all day, every day. We just can't. So thanks again for all 300 of you coming to watch me in my shop work on my trucks. You guys are the greatest, and I appreciate it. But I want you to know, you can't come by the shop. I don't have room for 300 people in here. I'm just joking. You stay home, watch my videos, watch other videos, have fun. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in a week.